Hi there. Today we'll learn 30 words about education and learning. Each word comes with a speaking sentence and a writing sentence. Let's get started.
Rote learning. We did a lot of rote learning at my school. I could recite it all and understand none of it. An over-reliance on rote learning produces students who can reproduce information but cannot apply it. Critical thinking. Nobody ever taught us critical thinking. We just wrote down whatever the teacher said. Curricula that prioritize critical thinking over memorization better prepare graduates for uncertain labor markets. Attainment gap. There's a huge gap between the kids at the two schools, and it starts really early. The attainment gap between pupils from affluent and disadvantaged backgrounds widens markedly during primary school. Meritocracy. People say it's all about talent, but honestly, it helps a lot if your parents can pay. The notion that higher education operates as a pure meritocracy is difficult to sustain given the role of private tutoring. Vocational. He didn't fancy uni, so he did a vocational course, and he's earning more than me now. Vocational training deserves parity of esteem with academic roots rather than being treated as a fallback. Curriculum. The curriculum hasn't changed since I was at school, which tells you something. A curriculum overloaded with content leaves teachers no room to address individual weaknesses. Pedagogy. It's not what they teach, that's the problem. It's how they teach it. Reform has focused on assessment while leaving classroom pedagogy largely untouched. Retention. Loads of people drop out in the first year. They just can't keep them. Universities with strong pastoral support report significantly higher first-year retention. Streaming. They split us into groups by ability at 11, and once you were in the bottom set, that was that. Streaming by ability entrenches early disadvantage. Pupils placed in lower sets rarely move up. Extracurricular. Half of what I learned at uni came from clubs, not lectures. Extracurricular participation correlates with employability, yet access to it is highly unequal. Tailored. The lessons were tailored to what I actually needed, which is rare. Instruction tailored to individual proficiency yields greater gains than uniform whole-class teaching. Credential inflation. A degree used to mean something. Now everyone's got one, and it barely gets you an interview. Credential inflation compels students to pursue postgraduate study for roles that once required none. Cognitive load. There was too much going on at once. I just switched off. Presenting new vocabulary alongside unfamiliar grammar increases cognitive load and impairs retention. Self-directed. Nobody was checking up on me, so I had to sort out my own study plan. Self-directed learners outperform their peers once external structure is removed. Literacy. My granddad never learned to read properly, and it held him back his whole life. Adult literacy programs yield returns not only in employment, but in health outcomes. Dropout. 2 of my mates dropped out in the first term. Dropout rates are highest among students who work more than 20 hours a week. Underachieve. He's bright. He just never really tried. Boys underachieve relative to girls at every stage of compulsory schooling in most OECD countries. Scaffolding. She helped me with the first few, then let me get on with it myself. Effective scaffolding is withdrawn incrementally as competence develops. Compulsory. PE was compulsory, and I hated every minute of it. Extending compulsory education to 18 has not, in itself, reduced youth unemployment. Assessment. It was all coursework, no exams, which suited me down to the ground. Continuous assessment rewards sustained effort, whereas terminal examinations reward performance under pressure. Intake. Our year was the biggest they'd ever taken. Capping the annual intake would protect teaching quality but restrict access. Peer pressure. Everyone else was applying, so I did too. I didn't really think about it. Peer pressure exerts a stronger influence on subject choice than careers advice does. Aptitude. She's always had a knack for languages. Aptitude tests predict early performance, but correlate poorly with eventual professional success. Holistic. They look at the whole person, not just your grades. A holistic admissions process considers circumstance alongside attainment. Disparity. The difference between the two schools was massive. Regional disparities in funding translate directly into disparities in examination results. Instill. My parents drummed it into me that you finish what you start. Schools should instill intellectual curiosity rather than merely transmit content. Prohibitive. The fees were just way too much for us. Tuition fees have become prohibitive for households in the lowest income decile. Entrench. Once you're behind, it's really hard to catch up. Selective schooling entrenches advantage across generations rather than disrupting it. Cohort. Our year group was the first to sit the new exam. The 2020 cohort experienced disruption at every stage of assessment. Attrition. We started with 30 and finished with about 12. High attrition on doctoral programs represents a substantial waste of public investment. Those are the 30 words for this lesson. Pause the video here, review them once more, then do the exercises below. There are 100 more words on this topic in the full word list.
Now practice the exercises below and I'll see you in the next lesson.